We're testing stuff out. Doing a few things that YouTube's making me do at vertical orientation today. So welcome back to RacerX Wednesday. So guys, it has been almost 3 months since I've been live with you, and I have all sorts of stuff I want to talk to you guys about tonight. So I actually got my new mount. We're going to work with that a little bit. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see me okay. Can you hear me okay? I want to do a real quick just audio check with you guys. Make sure you can hear me okay. Like I said, I have all sorts of different things to cover tonight. Actually looking forward to this, this live quite a bit. Have some stuff to cover about Dodge, about meeting with Dodge. Have some stuff to cover about my Demon tonight. All sorts of stuff. So let me go ahead and get you guys loaded up here. And like I said, let me know if you guys can hear me okay audio-wise. I'm sort of looking at your comments coming through. Got the mic on tonight, so hopefully a lot of the echoes you guys won't hear. A little bit more lighting tonight, so hopefully it'll be good. Got K9X here keeping me company, trying to knock my thing off the chair that I want to go ahead and auction off tonight. It should be fun. So let me go ahead and start things on my end here, guys. Give me just 1 second here to see who is in the building. Looks like we've got my man Sovereign Knight in the building. Eric 313 is here. Let's see. Michael Brown is here. Jack Hyman is here. Let's see here. Audio is all good. Good to hear it. All right. Good stuff here. Let's see. Grand Admiral Thrawn is here. I'm trying to look to see if I've said hi to everybody. Let's go down here. GSXR Pete, my buddy Pete is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Drag Van is here. How's it going? RacerX, looking good, guys. So Fear God is here. I wish they didn't make me do vertical orientation. I don't know why it's making me do it that way, but it is. So anyway, guys, at least we've got good audio tonight, and should be a fun one. Like I said, I've got all sorts of notes to talk to you guys about. The last time I was live with you was back when, Frank Rhodes was on. And that's been, like I said, almost 3 months ago. So I'm so sorry, guys, that I have not been live with you. I just felt like I didn't really have all that much to talk about. I got all sorts of stuff to talk about, seeing as, like I said, it's been so long. But new developments, lots of different stuff. So I can't wait to have a nice interactive session with you guys. But do me a big, gigantic favor. As you jump into the live tonight, we've got, what, 115 people on already. Please hit the thumbs up. That really does help out the channel. It helps out the live. And like I said, I mean, we want to drive those thumbs up so that people know we're actually live. It helps the YouTube algorithm, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely appreciate it. I want to say hi to some more folks here real quick, guys, and then I want to jump into some of my main questions. I do want to just give a quick shout real quick to my buddy here. So for those of you guys that follow my channel religiously, you may be aware that back in, how long has it been? May, I lost K9X. Unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. It was kind of unexpected. But we have K9X2, 2.0, and he is here with me. Come here, bro. Come. You want to come say hi? And I don't know if he was able to say hi with you guys last time. Come here. Come. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Come up here. Come say hi. Come on. He doesn't want to come up. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. He doesn't want to come up. Come here. There you go. Yep, so he is 6 months old, almost 6 months old. He's almost 70 pounds. And you guys might see him on some future videos where I'm just doing some talking and stuff like that. Good boy. So anyway, he's doing good. He's ornery and every bit of a 6-month-old puppy, but he keeps me busy, guys. So anyway, I do want to jump in. Let me grab a couple of comments, and then I want to jump into some of my main content, guys, because I have a lot of stuff to cover. And let's see here. Let me see who we've got in the building, guys. Please announce yourself when you come in. I will try and get to as many comments tonight as I can. Go lay down. All right, go lay down. Now, he wants to play. He sees me doing something he's never seen me do before here, and he's not sure what to think about it. So anyway, guys, let's see who else we've got in the building. So we said hi to Michael. Eric 313 is here. We said hi to him. We got Pete in the building. Let's see who else we've got. Chivos Adventures. Let's see. Howdy, Mr. X. Good to see you, buddy. X Xavier 17. Will you leave that alone? Goodness. Jay Ortiz is in the building. Good to see you. My man Jay Beeman is here as well. Jeffrey is here. Good to see you. My man Aaron. Good to see you, Aaron. What's good, X-Fam? He says. Justin Sayers says, good to see the man who refuses to be negative. Guys, it's not that I refuse to be negative. It's just my channel does not revolve around negativity. And I can't do it. So Everybody has their own thing, guys. I try to be more of a glass half full kind of guy when I can. I just don't see the point in running around life, being as negative as you possibly can. So that's just not me. So anyway, guys, but I like it. Let's see here. Who else we got? Michael Todd is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Dodge should put back the 4.7, let's see, but put the 6.2 oil pump in it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's wishful thinking at this point. Greg Anderson is here. Let's see. Black Bolt is here. Richard R. It's go time. I love it. Let me see who else we got in here. Squirrel23 on YouTube. I love it. You think Hellcats are coming back? I think there will be. That's actually a really good question. I think there will be Hellcats, but I think they're going to be powered by the Hurricane. Just my thoughts. My man Aaron jumping in with the first super chat of the night. Let's get this ball rolling. My man Aaron, always in the house. Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. And so before we even get started tonight, guys, I will say hi to a few more people. Sorry if I haven't got to you guys yet. Like I said, I'll get to as many comments as I can tonight. I will certainly get to all of the super chats. It might take me just a second, but I do have a lot of stuff to cover. Now, before we get into it, this is something I really love to do. Some of my favorite lives that I have done have been where I do auctions. And I've actually been holding on to this for, I don't know, 2 months. I've had this for a while. It was right after I did the runway event. So maybe not quite that long, maybe 6 weeks ago. If you guys know, I took my Demon 170 out to a personal runway. My man Greg Anderson at $4.99. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. And good to see Greg in the house as well. But basically what I like to do every so often is I like to do these little like auction things. People say you shouldn't call it a giveaway. I used to call it a giveaway. I guess technically it's not a giveaway. What I do is I give the person who donates the most super chats in terms of dollars, and I try to write them all down, and it gets crazy at the end of the nights. But I did something pretty cool. Like I had this made at the runway event. I don't know if you guys can really see it because they got me on the stupid vertical orientation, but obviously it says off we go. I'm going to sign this and send this out to the person that has the most super chat money tonight. And I'm going to try and keep track of it. It is a lot to keep track of sometimes, but I think this is so cool. And if you can see the runway behind me, guys, this thing came out awesome. I've been so stoked. It's a great picture of the Demon. And we'll talk a little about the Demon tonight and what's going on with the Demon. But yeah, that was just the coolest picture. And to have a legitimate runway behind you, that's something else. That is a one of one. I didn't even make one of those for myself. I wanted a subscriber to have it. So like I said, the subscriber with the most super chat money tonight, I will just sign that, and I literally have the stuff to send it out tomorrow. So that's the plan right now. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep track of a few folks. My man, Greg, with 5. I'm feeling that won't stand up, Greg, but I love it. And also Aaron, and he has 5. So anyway, guys, so I want to go ahead and jump into just a couple things. I'll get back to saying hi to everybody here in just a second. So like I said, first things, Frank Rhodes, you guys saw me do a live with him last time. Haven't heard much out of Frank because obviously Stellantis just blatantly wouldn't listen to anything he said. It sucks because he had really good intentions in my mind. It was going to be a tough uphill sled anyway, obviously, but I give him the utmost respect and kudos for stepping up and trying to do something. You know, when he felt like the legacy of Chrysler, you know, the company that his grandfather built from the ground up, was basically going straight down the toilet. So I understand he wanted to fight for the legacy of that company and do anything that he could, everything that he could to make it go. Obviously, we know Tavares and team, it ain't gonna happen. No matter what he did, it wasn't gonna happen. So at any rate, you know, I hope Frank is doing well. I wish him well, and you know, like I said, major kudos to him for at least giving it a shot, putting it out there, and you know, at very least, maybe it opened up just a few eyeballs to just how disgruntled so many people are. So anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is Dodge, and we've got 148 people on, guys. Only 44 thumbs up. So please do me a huge, gigantic, massive favor and hit thumbs up on your way in the door tonight. So I finally heard back from Dodge, and you know, you guys know me. I'm a pretty not necessarily optimistic all the time, but I like to be open-minded. I like to be objective. When I review vehicles, I like to tell you, what I like. I don't always harp on the negative, but I will tell you some things. Hey, if I don't like this, I'll tell you. If I do like it, I'll tell you. If something's great, I'll tell you. And then if it doesn't compare favorably, I try to let you guys know that as well. But I have been sort of wanting to drive this new electric car, CFL James 1320, my man. Let me grab you real quick. Give me 1 second, buddy. I'll get to your super chat. Thank you very much. Anyway, I am going to be headed out to Arizona. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Arizona is where Radford Racing is. Come here. The 6-month-old puppy now wants to do all sorts of... Will you get that off the table? Come here. Come. Well, he's going to destroy my table while we're on this. It's okay. At any rate, the Radford Racing School is out there in Arizona. And Dodge is actually going to be flying me out there, and we're going to be taking a hard look at the new Daytona, both the RT and Scat Pack trims. I don't know what else is going to be out there. Apparently, there's only a certain number of media spots out there. Not very many, but they are sending me out there. We're going to drive the new car, and we're going to put it through its paces. And I fully intend to beat the ever-living snot out of this thing. I want to see what it's all about. I want to check out the different modes. And my biggest thing is, and you guys know, if you watch my channel, you know, I have driven all these cars. I mean, I've driven the Plaid, I've driven, the Hummer, and I've driven tons of EVs, the Model 3 Performance. I have not driven the Lucid, but at any rate, I want to see if it drives different, because in my last video I mentioned it. They are really fast. You cannot deny the performance of EVs, but you also cannot deny that they're just not really as fun to drive as a internal combustion muscle car that has all that sound and the tire shredding power. It's not necessarily all-wheel drive, so it may not necessarily be as fast, but that isn't everything. Speed isn't everything. And even though if you look at on paper, maybe a Demon 170 and a Plaid are extremely well matched, the 170 is just a much more fun car to drive, and that's just my honest, open thoughts. I feel like most of you guys would agree with that. But has Dodge done enough with this car to make it fun, right? I mean, I know the sound coming out of the back is out of that Fradsonic chambered thing, and I fully intend to kind of explore that a little bit. Truth of the matter is, it is basically fake sound coming out of the back. But does that change the way that the car feels to drive? That is the question in my mind. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to rip this thing. I'm going to meet with the guys at the Radford Racing School. I'm going to be out there for a couple of days. It looks like it's going to be the 12th of December. I'm going to fly out, so I'll be making content on the 13th. They've got several things planned out there. Like I said, there's only a handful of us that are getting to go do this, but I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said, I mean, it's not that I love electrics, okay? So don't get me wrong, and I hear these comments on RacerX, you're just a simp for Dodge because you don't speak hate every single word out of your mouth, and you're open-minded. If it's not a V8, it sucks. I mean, if you want to be closed-minded, guys, that's fine. I literally have no problem with that, because that is the way a lot of people are. But I am willing to go try it. That doesn't mean I'm going to like it. That doesn't mean that I'm, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not going to sit, but don't expect me to come back and just, I hate this, I hate this, I hate that, and just be the most negative person on the planet. If that's what you want, there will be people out there that are going to do that. I am literally going to give you my open, honest thoughts. If it's fun to drive, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and critique price. I'm not going to sit there and critique, X, Y, Z and tell you guys how much EVs suck and all that. I'm literally going to go out there and try and have fun with the car. Tell you what I like about it, tell you what I don't like about it. Maybe I'll find some stuff that I wasn't expecting that I really don't like, or maybe I'll drive it and it will be absolutely just fun as hell to drive. And maybe I'll change my mind about EVs. It's not very likely. As I mentioned before, I'm excited about the six-pack car, which I do not expect to be there. But will they have a Banshee there? We'll see. I would love an opportunity to drive that car just to see what it drives like, compare it. I mean, I know how fast a Plaid is. I would be interested to just see. Now, I will say, having seen this car in person not only at SEMA, not only at the initial unveiling, but at this past Roadkill Nights event that I went to back in August, I saw the kind of the final trim, how it's going to look as a scat pack. And the car has really been growing on me. Some people don't like the way the car looks. That's okay. Up close and personal, when you're literally standing next to it and you see it in like the two-tone paint and you see the bigger wheels and the big calipers on it and all that kind of stuff, I actually think it's kind of growing on me a little bit. Like I said, not everybody loves it. The thing I actually like the best about the new car is actually the interior. The interior on that car is really nice. I've heard people say, oh, the interior sucks. I don't know why they're saying that. I think the interior is awesome. Can't change the fact that it's an EV though. So I know everybody, just about everybody that watches my channel, it is hard for you guys to get on board with electric muscle. I completely understand that, and I agree. Like I said, I've got a 1,025 horsepower monster sitting in my garage as we speak. That is kind of the thing that I've always stood for. But at the same time, I've driven things like GTRs. Some people say, well, it's not a V8, it sucks. Well, like I've told you guys so many times in the past, go to 2K. Tell me what 85% of the cars out there are. They're not V8s. Those are the fastest street cars in the world. So you have to understand, you have to get a better appreciation of all-around performance and what each different platform offers before you get, and that's why I encourage people. I've always said I am a all-around car enthusiast. I'm not just necessarily a Mopar guy. I'm not just necessarily a Chevy guy or a Ford guy. Like, I can appreciate each and every model, and they all bring something different to the table and a different driving experience. I've driven and owned enough of them to know it really well. I don't do imports on my channel because you guys just don't watch it. It is what it is. That's why I don't do it, but that doesn't mean I don't respect them. I don't do EVs typically on my channel a whole lot because exact same thing. It doesn't do me a lot of good to spend a lot of time making content that you guys don't watch and don't care about and just don't like. I want to make stuff that you guys like, that you enjoy, that you can relate to. So at any rate, but going to Dodge, it looks like just a few weeks from now. And I expect to have a good time, give you guys my open, honest thoughts, beat the ever-living dog snot out of these cars. And we'll see. Will it be fast? It probably will. The Scat Pack version will probably be pretty fast. Probably be Hellcat fast. Should be. They have a couple different events set up for us. I know we have a drag experience set up. I think we also have a track experience set up. I will be interested to see just how heavy these cars feel to drive around. It's like the Plaid, right? I mean, I've driven the Plaid, and despite the fact that the Plaid is over 5,000 pounds, when you drive it, it doesn't feel heavy. That defies logic, right? You have to go drive one. By supercar standards, that Demon 170 out there is really heavy, yet it just ran a 128 60 foot at the track the other night. So you just have to kind of look at the whole, ball of wax to understand, the performance of things. But anyway, guys, I'm going to look at your comments really quick. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. So many people have just tuned out on the EV thing, but like I said, I feel like it's important. This is something I suggested to Tim Kuniskis before he left, and it is also, we forwarded that over to Matt, and that was actually before I even knew Matt was going to be taking over for Tim. So how long ago has that been that I sent this stuff over to them saying, why don't we do a media drive event and we can just find out for ourselves before the car ever comes out. This car has been delayed and delayed and delayed. And I don't have a great explanation for that other than the car just wasn't ready. It could have been an issue with the lithium-ion batteries. There could have been a number of other things. I wasn't privy to all those behind-the-door conversations. But I do know that the car, they're basically ready now, and it's time to go drive it. So anyway, let me go check your comments really quick, guys. Thank you for the super chats. I did miss one. Let me go up and see. CFL James, thank you for the E85 funds. I appreciate it, buddy. And let me just see if I can find these other super chats. Here it is. My man Aaron says, hell yes, let me see what I'm spending my granddaughter's college fund on. See, Aaron is one of those guys, like, for the longest that has been kind of just a little bit more open-minded about the whole EV thing. So at any rate, thank you again, Aaron. So I'm just gonna, I'll add $5 for you there. And CFL James is in the lead right now with 20, so we'll keep track of that. Once again, guys, do me a huge favor. Hit thumbs up on your way in the door tonight. Have a lot of other stuff to talk about. And also, who else just chimed in? My man, James Photos. Good to see you in the night, buddy. And he jumped in there with 5. A biscuit for K9X. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Let me write that in there. So at any rate, guys, let me grab some comments here just really quick. I can't get all of them. There's my man, Dragman. There's TK's Garage. Design is fine. Put a supercharged 5.7 and I'm sold. You know, that is the sentiment. So what TK's Garage says here is the sentiment of a lot of people. And it is, they actually don't mind the design of the car. They like the interior. They just don't like the fact that it's an EV. And it is a hard sell. You know, I talked about it in my last video. It's like oil and water when you talk about muscle car people and EVs. It's a very difficult sell. So, you know, maybe Dodge needs, you know, folks like me to go up and actually drive it or whatever. Guys, if there's some stuff I just really don't like about the car, I'm going to tell you. I promise I will. I will be open and objective with you about it. But if I like it, I'm going to tell you I like it. And because I've always appreciated speed and performance. You know, there will probably be some things about the car that I'm not crazy about. It's going to be very different to drive. I know that. It's probably going to be very different to drive based on how my understanding of how they put like an actual like erupt transmission in this thing. Supposedly it's a lot more visceral than a normal EV. We will find out. But, you know, that's why I'm excited. What TK said there is kind of what I was saying, is that I'm excited about the six-pack car because I have driven a whole bunch of the Hurricane variants, both the standard output and the high output. And I know they've made some changes to that engine, just a few subtle changes based on my conversations with some of those guys. But yeah, I think that I think that it's going to be a really cool car. The Hurricane-powered car will be remarkably quick. When I drove the new Ram with the high output Hurricane in it recently, I can tell you without any shadow of a doubt that that Hurricane-powered Ram, even though supposedly it makes 540 horsepower, if you were to line that up against a TRX on the highway, it would absolutely pull a TRX on the highway. Despite the fact the TRX makes, what, 160 more horsepower? Guaranteed. I just talked to my good buddy B. Mason about that very same thing. He's driven it, and he said the exact same thing. The TRX would probably get pulled on the highway by that Hurricane-powered Ram. Remember, it's not just about horsepower. The engine itself is way, way lighter, and the new design is lighter. So you have some other things working for the truck, you know, besides just horsepower. But it's the way those twin turbos make power. They don't have the initial torque thump, but once they get moving, it's quick. You guys just have to trust me on it. So anyway, let me jump in and get all these super chats you guys are throwing at me here. And like I said, I'll get to some more comments here in just a second, guys. Let's see here. So there's James Photos. I got that one. Let's see. Sovereign Knight, my man. Let me see here. What did he say? He says, I'm writing everybody down here. So he says, here's 5 for the live. I love it. And a biscuit for K9X2. Folks, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, buddy. I really do appreciate that. So thank you for the super chat, buddy. And then let's see here. M305. I love it. He says, people keep wanting a 5.7, and it's a slow dud that loses to EcoBoost Mustangs. It needs at least a 6.4. The 6.4 is by far a better engine. So one of the things, I like that he says this because it brings up an interesting point. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate the support. You guys have to remember that if Dodge ever does come out with an 8-cylinder, and I've mentioned this before, maybe you guys you know, haven't seen it or whatever, but it won't be a Hemi. So just keep in mind, they're not just going to take a Hemi and throw it back in there. I just do not see that happening. Yes, it was a successful design, but there are some inherent design issues with that engine. One, it hates boost. I know a lot of guys boost them. That's not necessarily the biggest thing. It's a heavy iron block, pushrod technology, which is kind of archaic when you compare it to, say, like a dual overhead cam engine with fuel injection. You know, the modern day fuel injection they have is fantastic. There's a lot of other things. Not that the current engine doesn't have fuel injection. But there's a lot of modern things, like say on the Hurricane with dual overhead cams and a lot of the other things that engine has going on inside. Just a more modern engine. Now keep in mind the hemispherical head, even though these engines are not true, they're not actually Hemis. I hate to tell you guys that, but they're called a Hemi, and they have sort of a hemispherical head is what I'm trying to say, but they're not actually true Hemis. But by the very design, from when you look at a hemispherical head, they're so smog inefficient, they're never going to be more than a 1. Even if they change the rules, that piece of it, maybe they roll back the EV mandate, maybe they change some of the EPA stuff. I don't believe that engine will ever be anything more than a 1, and a 1 means the worst it's going to get. It's very smog inefficient, I'm trying to say, by its very design. It's not a very efficient design. It makes good power. It's just the design of it. So if they come out with a new 8-cylinder, it's probably going to be with revised heads. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they were going to redesign a V8, that it would be an aluminum block, which actually I would like to see. I'd love to see them do some sort of a semi-sleeved aluminum block. Aluminum blocks, if they are sleeved, can be unbelievably strong. I know some people would disagree with that, but I have literally seen aluminum blocks put up with monster horsepower. Like I said, it helps to have the sleeve in there if you're going to make huge power. That's why guys sleeve engines. But the material itself, it's pretty strong. The thing with iron, it's just so heavy, and it also tends to really soak in a lot of heat. So if I would like to see a new 8-cylinder, and I would like to see them do a revised 8-cylinder, honestly, I'd like to see them come out with like a smaller, like 5.2, and give it a whole bunch of upgrades, and they could easily make a 5.2 liter engine that it may be a little bit down on torque, but it would be way up in horsepower. And that's, dual overhead cam, all that kind of stuff. It's all doable. These design engineers, they're very smart people. I just don't know how it's going to work. Like I said, the Trump administration, they are going to, change the rules. But remember, it's only 4 years. Does it really do companies a lot of good to go out and spend billions if everything is just going to revert back to kind of the path everything was on before this incoming administration, came about? So these companies look long term. Hey, where are we going to be in 8 years? Where are we going to be in 10 years? Do we really want to do a model run of 2 years? It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that because there's so much that happens behind the scenes in terms of logistics in making these cars. So anyway, guys, I kind of went down a rabbit hole there a little bit because of that question. But guys, don't expect the 5.7 and the 6.4 to just start being thrown into these new cars. Like I said, it's the design of them. This might end up being a good thing. I know it's weird. You're like, oh my gosh, he didn't just say that. If they redesign an engine and make it better, and they still give you an 8-cylinder, and like I said, you get dual overhead cam, and it puts up with more boost, and there are lots of other things that old engine did not do well. I could see that we would come out ahead in the situation. It sucks to go through it, but you come out on the other side and you come out better for it. Maybe there's something to think about there. So anyway, guys, I'm just kind of giving you my long-winded thoughts on the 6.4 and the 5.7 Hemi. This is why I like the Hurricane, because the Hurricane, it's a super modern engine. If you really look at the design of it, I know a lot of people think that there are some flaws with that engine. I've spoken to the engineers. I don't necessarily think it's as big an issue as a lot of people are making it out to be, like with the stats on them, and there's some other things. I know they've made a couple of slight revisions to them, but I think those things, when people start tuning them, they're going to be absolute monsters. The only thing I worry about is how expensive they're going to be when they come out. If the Hurricane powered Charger is 70 grand, I don't know, guys. I don't see it being a really good, viable option. So at any rate, thank you for the super chat. That was long-winded. My man Aaron, what did he say here? He says, let's see, I got a ride in a Lucid Air Sapphire, beat the brakes off the Plaid, most terrifying ride experience in my life, but absolutely luxurious. So here is the deal, guys. This is a perfect segue. So let me grab Aaron. Aaron, thank you again for the super chat. And I think I had one more to, nope, I think that's it. Did I miss any, guys? All right, so here's the deal. Did you guys see my most recent video where I raced, right? I went out, I ran the new engine in the Demon, because this is kind of one of the next things that I wanted to talk about. You know, the car ran well. And I have had an opportunity now with racing the car more to figure out that initially on that car, I think I got a little bit of goofy advice in terms of some of the things to do when I'm racing it. And it's like anything else, you know, it's just like with my Hellcat, trial and error. And some of the things that I used to do on my Hellcat simply don't work on the Demon. They just don't. The car drives different. So it took me some time to kind of get the car figured out. And now I feel like I'm starting to really get the car figured out in terms of tire pressures, in terms of what RPM to leave at, in terms of, you know, it likes the foot brake better. So there's a lot of little things, all the way from how I do my burnout, all the way to how I launch the car. There's just multiple things that I've learned about racing this car that now I feel like I'm starting to kind of come into my own a little bit on that car. It's not an easy car to drive, guys. I don't care what anybody tells you. If somebody's like, oh, the Demon 170 is super easy to drive, it's not. It just isn't. It does take some practice. The initial torque hit on that thing, it's just a beast. It takes really good track prep, as I've mentioned to you guys before. But with good prep, I feel like I have significantly more confidence in how I want to launch that car and race that car, which brings me to my next point. After running a series of 9.2s in like 1,800 foot DA, 128 60 foots, you know, consistent. This engine, I don't know what else to say about it. This engine sounds different than my first engine did. I don't know, it's just something you listen to, like under full throttle, wide open throttle, just listening to the engine and how it sounds and how it feels. It feels slightly different and it sounds slightly different than my first engine. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I can hear it in the engine. And this engine, it just feels and sounds healthier. Now, I want to be clear because I keep getting trolled by one specific individual about how I broke in my car the first time, guys. Dodge has already told me, you know, very matter of fact, that the initial engine was broken in perfect. There was nothing wrong with the way that that engine was broken in, and the failure on that engine was not a result of break-in. I've already been told that on multiple occasions. Unfortunately, they wouldn't give me any more information about what the mechanical failure was on the car. So every pass I've been taking in the car is getting data logs, and it's getting sent off to 2 different sources. In addition to that, I'm literally getting ready to change the oil tomorrow in it after the run, and this will be its 3rd oil change already. And it's just one of those things, guys. It's something I got to do, and the oil's getting sent off to Blackstone Labs, just like it did the first 2 times. So I am pulling all the punches in terms of making sure this engine is really healthy. But what this is all doing is I'm trying to tell you that I'm really happy. I was feeling really down about the car for a while. You guys probably saw it. You heard it in my voice, how upset I was about how the car isn't performing. I took it out to the airfield, and it kept pulling power out and doing all sorts of weird crap that I didn't understand. It didn't make any sense. And I'm like, look, I need to dump this car and go to something else, because I got to have a car that's going to work. I can't keep putting out videos about, you know, this car sucks and That's not my style. I don't like this, but I do like a car. I mean, my Hellcat, consistent, it was fast, it just worked. And I was like, what is wrong with this car? But I do have, after this past outing, I have just a new outlook on this car. I feel much better about this new engine. I feel like I just got a bad engine. And I mean, you know, the car, the old engine went a 939 at like 144 in basically 0 DA. And then I turn around in this one and I ran 924 in plus 1700 DA with much higher grains. What does that tell you? So, you know, it's just a happier car, and the car is faster. And so I would love an opportunity to get out, maybe run the car a few more times. I've got a lot more passes under my belt, And if I can get out in good air and maybe put the lighter tires on it, you know, keep in mind, I'm running the heavy wheels on that car. Either put a drag pack on it. I'm not going to tune it. I'm not, you know, right now I don't plan on tuning the car. I don't plan on just opening up the TCM and doing a lot of little cheater things that a lot of these guys do. I'm going to leave it completely untuned, maybe just throw a lighter set of wheels on it, and I want to get out there in some good DA and run the car and see what it will do. I feel like after running mid 9.2s in better air with lighter wheels, that car, I won't say easily, that car can get into the 9.0 and possibly into the 8-second range untuned. And you know, there's an awful lot of guys out there that are like, my Demon 170 did an 890 or an 888 and da-da-da. They're not telling you all the, I've talked to a lot of them guys. I'm not saying it's not possible, but a lot of them have done a lot of little stuff that doesn't necessarily get revealed. A lot of them, the PCMs are unlocked. That's all I'm going to say. You know, you start taking window motors out of cars and you start doing all the little shady stuff, it stops becoming what it was initially meant to be. I just want to go run it. And I'd like to race a Lucid and I'd like to race a Plaid again. Now that I've got some more passes under my belt, I know exactly what the car wants to do in better air with a little lighter wheel setup and see how the car does. And if I could be the first Demon 170 to beat a Lucid, as Aaron just mentioned, they are stupid fast. 9.0, you know, what are they, 153, some stupid, way more mile an hour. But if I'm out there running 9.0 and that car runs like an 899 or a 9.0, that is a driver's race. And that is a race I feel like I could have a pretty good chance of winning. Now, if I'm out there with like my old car and I was running 9.5s at the strip, I mean, there were a lot of passes I didn't show you guys. It is what it is. I'm not going to show you every run, but that's what that car would do. And you know, if I can get out there and be competitive and run 9.0, I feel like I've got a pretty good shot at beating the Lucid. I just got to beat him on the tree. So, you know, and since I'm just foot braking the car, and that's what I'm used to doing, you know, because the trans brake, it's a cumbersome thing to use. I can do it, but the car's slower on the trans brake, and just about any Demon 170 owner is going to tell you the same thing. That car, for whatever reason, I mean, the trans brake's cool, it's gimmicky, you can do a lot of stuff with it. The car's just not as fast. It's actually faster on a foot brake, and I kind of know where the car likes to be RPM-wise. So there's a lot of little things that I'm looking at in the Demon that are a little different than what I used to do in my Hellcat, but I feel like I'm starting to really kind of get it figured out to a degree. That doesn't mean I'm not going to spin, that doesn't, you know, but with good prep, I feel pretty confident that, you know, we can do some big things. And I'd like to show you guys more race footage here coming up, and we're coming into race season. You know, I don't get the same kind of air here, guys. One of the things I want to sort of dispel a little bit of a rumor about is the fact that, guys, if you understand drag racing, you know, Bradenton in the middle of Florida is not Cecil County, okay? Cecil gets some of the coolest, driest air you're gonna see. They get amazing DA. This time of year, they are getting insane DA. So cars just make more power up there. They just do. And you know, they get way less grains. We're right here at sea level. It's soggy here. Bradenton actually is a slightly uphill track. Cecil is a slightly downhill track. So you just have to, it's like comparing apples to oranges. So, you know, if you have a guy that's like, oh, I was at Cecil and ran a da-da-da-da, okay, you know, that's great. I'm good for you. I'm happy for you. But you can't really compare it to what other tracks are like. I mean, even like Texas Motorplex, where I used to race, you know, the DA there, even though it's slightly higher in elevation, the DA is typically going to be better. You're going to get cooler, crisper, drier air, and high grains hurt your performance. And so that's just part of living in Florida, guys. And that's why I was telling you in my video, I'm so amazed that the car ran a 924 with heavy wheels on it in almost 2,000 DA with high grains. That makes it almost more, that's very impressive to me. I mean, so to me, that's like running an 8-something, you know, at Cecil. because of the conditions. So anyway, I just want to kind of put that out there, guys. So when you see people, I mean, if you see people running an Amarillo, they get terrible DA up there. They're not going to run the same time. It's not a fair comparison. You know, so it's just, you know, it's one of those things. But like I said, I'm very pleased with the car. I mean, I've not changed anything out on the car, the exhaust, which adds no power. And, you know, so if I put lighter wheels on, we get good air, we're going to see what it will do. And that's my goal right now, guys, is to show you guys a lot more racing content, hopefully here coming soon. And looking forward to it. So let me grab some more content, or I mean comments, guys, not content. Oh, let's see here. I missed a few super chats. Who did we miss here? Aaron, did I miss you another super chat, buddy? Let's look and see just real quick. Aaron says, who is trolling you? The X family needs to know. You know what's really interesting? He says that. There's one particular guy that continues to just be like, no, it didn't say 1,500 miles and da-da-da-da. Guys, I kept a whole big log about how I logged that car in, which was provided to Dodge. And, you know, it's not so much, I've said this at length, it's not so much about miles as it is the way you break the car in, varying RPM. I mean, talk to any engineer, they will literally tell you the same thing. They put the 1,500 miles in there because you got guys that'll go cruise for 300 miles. They don't vary RPM. They don't do a lot of things you're supposed to do when you're breaking in the car. So they had to put that in there like that. But if you're going on lots of short trips and you're varying RPM, you're using your paddle shifters, taking it up and down, you're kind of getting on it a little bit, getting off of it a little bit, lots of heat cycles, that's what you're supposed to do. You have to get, you know, everything seated in that engine, okay? Got to get the seals, you know, everything's got to be sealed up. That's how you do it, okay? You don't do it by just going on long cruises, okay? So they had to do it, they had to put that in there for those guys that don't really understand how to break in an engine. There's an awful lot of guys out there that I've talked to that are like, dude, I've been racing my Demon 170 engine since it had 47 miles on it. I've had no problems. So, you know, it's just one of those things, guys. You're always going to get somebody like that. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So anyway, let me grab some more comments here, and I do have some other things I want to talk to you guys about. Now, who is winning the canvas thing right now? It's still my man CFL James at $20 winning my canvas. Like I said, this is the custom thing I just had made, one of one, and he's winning right now with 20 bucks. Aaron's right behind him at 15. So it's been a pretty mellow live tonight, guys. So nothing wrong with that. Let me see what else we got here. I'm going to jump up to some comments here. Eric Tate, hit the like button, everybody. Subscribe and share. Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it. James Photo says, as long as you're having fun with it, the car did its job. Exactly. This last trip to the track was so much more fun than I was having before. You know, when you're out there spinning or you're out there and the car's pulling power, and there's any number of things that have been happening, it's demoralizing. And you're like, what am I doing wrong here? I'm setting this car up the right way. You know, it's got fresh oil. It's got good quality E85 in it. It's da-da-da-da. All the things that I know to do as a racer, and the car won't cooperate. And then I have a night like the other night where I go out and the car just works. The car's happy. It sounds good. It's sucking my eyeballs to the back of my head. It just sounds pissed off. It's running good times. And it just sticks. And I got to tell you guys, if you've never been, I mean, you know, if you've been a racer a long time, you've had really fast cars, you know the feeling. But when you go to nail the gas and the entire front of the car jumps up, like on the second pass I had the other night, somebody was standing right next to the car. They're like, dude, you picked the wheels up like 1.5 feet off the ground. That feeling of just nailing it and feeling it suck you to the seat and just lift the front of the car up and just go. Anytime you're running like 1/260 foots or faster, that's the feeling you get, and it's unbelievable. It's a lot of fun. It is addicting, and yeah, that's why I'm telling you guys. Like I feel, even though the mile an hour wasn't there, there are some different things on the mile an hour. You know, some tracks kind of give you average mile an hour, some actually measure trap speed, and once again, there are variances between tracks. So, you know, that mile an hour may not equate to the same mile an hour at a track, you know, like Cecil County, like I just mentioned, or some of the tracks up north. It just different, that's all. So anyway, my man Aaron, what did he say now? Let's see here. Let me jump in, and he says, okay, the Sapphire sold me. My buddy's McLaren didn't push my chest in like the Sapphire. Impressive wasn't the word to describe it. So, you know, Aaron, it's interesting you say that. Aaron's got 25 now. So, because, you know, that's the thing about these cars is that like when you ride in one of those, it's like riding in a roller coaster, right? Because they don't spin or anything. So that car will run like a 9.1 on the street. It's absolutely asinine that that car can do that, but it absolutely does. And you know, you just have to, I mean, you got to respect it. And that's what makes it so much fun for me to think about beating a car like that. So you can think about, imagine what it would take, Aaron, to beat, you know how fast the Sapphire is. Anybody that's ever ridden a car that runs 9.0, car is stupid, violent fast. But think about what it would take to beat that car. And that's my goal, with an internal combustion stock car. You know what I mean? That's really, when I say stock, I mean untuned. I'm not taking crazy weight out of the thing and doing all sorts of weirdness. Like just running it the way it was intended. That is the most insane thing about it. And I feel like if I can go out, what a feather in the cap it would be, and what a monster accomplishment it would be if I could go out and beat the Sapphire. Okay, because if I lose, I lose. It is what it is. But to just go out and even make it competitive in an internal combustion offering would be absurd. Because of, you know, anybody's ever driven in one or ridden in one, you know how incredibly fast they are. The same with the Plaid. The Plaid is insultingly fast. So anyway, guys, it's a big task, but that's my goal. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Okay, so Aaron, and there's another super chat. Juan, good to see you, buddy. See, I would like to connect in Arizona. I appreciate what you do, good sir. I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. And yeah, you know, like I said, I'll only be out there a few days. I'll be pretty busy when I'm out there, but that is the plan right now, to go out there to the Radford Racing School, race these new cars around, give you my open, honest thoughts, hopefully get some behind the scenes footage. I know a lot of the Dodge execs will be there. Maybe Tavares will be there. You never know. No, I do know he won't be there. But anyway, it should be fun. So thank you, Juan. Appreciate it. Thank you for that super chat. And guys, let me grab a couple more comments, and there's some other stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Let's see here. Eric Tate says Dodge Stellantis brings a top version TT dual overhead cam 32 valve 5.2 engine. That's exactly what I was saying, with 789 horsepower. If it was twin turboed, you never know. I mean, look what they're doing with the new ZR1. So a lot of people have hypothesized that I was going to get the new ZR1. And yes, I would like to get the ZR1. But guys, I'm not going to lie to you. It is prohibitively expensive. I don't know what else to say about it. The ZR1 is going to cost McLaren money. It's going to be in the 200-something thousand, and I just, guys, I don't have that. I mean, I had to stretch to get the Demon. I wanted to get it for the channel. I wanted to get it for you guys. I wanted to get it for me because I was excited about the most powerful muscle car in the world ever made, right? And it's a monster, but I'm not the kind of guy that can stretch out and buy a $230,000 ZR1. And to be honest with you guys, before this last track session, this is something else I was going to bring up, is on my list. I wanted to kind of change the direction my channel was going because I was so down on the Demon. And when my channel was really doing the best, if I do channel audits all the time. And when my channel was doing the best, I owned 3 different cars, right? I owned the Mustang, I owned the Scat Pack, and I owned the Hellcat. And I put out content all the time on all 3. And it enabled me to vary up the type of content that I do. And to take it one step further, if you really look at how if you look at my top videos, most of them are actually on the RT trim. So it's one thing that's kind of weird. The further I went down in trim level, the better my content did. But then you jump down to the 6-cylinder, which did okay. But for some reason, my RT content did really, really well because it was just so much more relatable. Not everybody can relate to a 1,000 horsepower Hellcat. They think it's cool, but I got way more views. I've got well over 1 million views on how to make a 5.7 Scat Pack as fast as, I mean, I'm sorry, how to make a 5.7 RT as fast as a Scat Pack. That's crazy to me, but that's the way it is. And so I honestly thought, you know, why don't I just go get, instead of having this monster demon payment, maybe it makes more sense for me to go buy 2 or 3 other cars, maybe an RT and supercharge it. Maybe I go buy a Camaro LT1. Maybe I go buy another Mustang GT and I do some fun stuff with it. Maybe I go supercharged and maybe I do this and just do different builds on cars that cost way less money. And it would really open up my content. So that is a direction that I won't necessarily say that I won't go later, is to do more relatable cars that, you know, your average guy can afford. So you know, I kick around a lot of different things, guys. In YouTube, you're really not relevant unless you're switching your cars up all the time. But right now we're in the racing season. The dog's playing with his toy. And time to race. So I've been waiting for this time of year to kind of come around. I've been biding my time a little bit, putting miles on the new engine, doing all the stuff I need to do. But at this juncture, it's time to race that car and do what I intend to do with it. And you know, that's what a lot of you guys have been asking for. And that doesn't mean I won't get some other stuff for the channel. I actually have some other plans kind of I'm thinking about in the background. But yeah, I mean, you know, relatable cars that you guys can you know, I won't say easily afford. Everybody's different, right? But that are more affordable, those get the views. And you know, I have to treat YouTube. I know this isn't what everybody wants to hear, but I have to treat YouTube kind of like a business because it is my business. And I love it, and I love the fact that I get to work with you guys, and you know, I get to have this amazing community, and I have all you guys supporting me. I'm so stoked about it. I love it, and so it's really cool when you get to do what you love. But you have to do what makes sense for the channel. You know, it's not all about just what I want. It's about, does it, not only do I want it, but does it make sense, right? So anyway, food for thought, guys. So I'm going to grab a couple more comments, and then I want to talk about something else. Let's see here. Oh, before I forget, guys, I almost forgot about this. So many of you guys bought my RacerX hats that I literally sold out like really, really quick, and I bought a bunch of them. So I know we got Christmas coming up. I've already placed a new order for the 2nd generation hats. So, I'm sorry, 2nd edition hats is what I'm going to call them. The 2nd edition RacerX hats will be coming very soon. They are being manufactured as we speak, and I would like to have those in here. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks before Christmas time, and I will keep you guys posted. But I ordered twice as many this time, and they're a little bit different than the normal ones that I've been wearing. We actually changed up the logo a little bit, and I got black and red this time. I think you guys are really going to like them. I love them. I think they're going to be fantastic, and I've got more of them this time so I don't sell out as fast. So you guys will see me make an announcement on my community page. They'll be on my Etsy store, so definitely just stay tuned for it, guys. So many of you guys have been messaging me like, hey, how can I get a hat? I missed out, da-da-da-da. And I feel bad. I should have bought more, but I only bought so many of them because they just sold, you guys. And so it was really weird because initially I was like, well, people buy my hats and da-da-da-da. And you guys apparently really like my hats and stuff. And I think that's so cool. So I ordered a whole bunch of brand new, as I mentioned, 2nd edition RacerX hats with a little bit of a revised logo. And like I said, this time 2 different colors. And we'll be selling that on my Etsy store here. Like I said, stay tuned. Next couple of weeks, you guys will probably see me put something in a video, and I'll put it out on my community page when they're available. And if you want one, you know, go get them because I don't know how long they're going to last, but I think they'd make, you know, if you're a fan of the channel or you know somebody that is, maybe they'd make a good Christmas gift or something like that. And I will do everything I can to get these things out as quickly as possible. So that way, you know, if you're doing it for the holiday stuff, you know, they'll get there in time. So anyway, that is my promise to you guys. At some point here in the near future as well, I may actually start doing the polo shirts and some of the other stuff that you guys have asked for. But anyway, I just want to tell you guys about that because so many people have asked about it. Let me go down and see what Aaron says. Can we get with a blue X? You know, I didn't make anything with a blue X just because I'm not really known for blue, right? So we're gonna have red and black, of course, which is like my old style. So the head will be red, all black stitching, and then I've got one that's actually similar to this. It'll be the black with the white stitching like before, but the logos are a little different. I hope you guys like them. They're basically this logo, but they've got a little bit added to them. I won't tell you any more about it until they come in. But thank you again, Aaron, for that. I appreciate it, buddy. And Aaron is actually right now, he is winning the canvas that I made. Boom, right there. So I will sign this as well before it goes out, possibly as soon as tomorrow. I've got everything I need to send it. All I got to do is put an address on it. But Aaron has got, Aaron's at $27. That's who's winning the competition right now. So like I said, it's been a pretty mellow live tonight. So let me see, what else did I want to talk about really quick? Oh, you guys, I am working with Dream Giveaway. If you guys, I know you guys see it in my videos all the time. They just did their Cadillac giveaway, but they've actually got a brand new set of Cadillacs I'm getting ready to go film on tomorrow, and they're awesome. But one of the cool things is if you use my code RacerX, they give you 3 times the entries for one price. That's something I negotiated with them for my subscribers. And I didn't check with them. They announced the Cadillac, the people that just won the Cadillacs, the Escalade V and the Blackwing, both in one drawing. It was a $300-something drawing. But I don't know if it was one of my subscribers or not. I need to ask, because if it is, I'm going to do a dedicated video with them. I need to call them. I'll be there tomorrow. I'll ask them. So at any rate, guys, but if you go to Dream Giveaway and you like, entering these car things, if you use my code, I mean, they've got some amazing, amazing giveaways. They've got, Corvette giveaways that are just sick, like super modified Corvettes that are just awesome. The Challenger giveaway, so many of you guys love that. We saw them give away a Demon. But the Challenger giveaway is a 2023 Super Stock Plum Crazy and a 1970 Challenger that was owned by the president of Chrysler, both in the same drawing. So anyway, I just figured I'd put that out there, guys. If you haven't been to Dream Giveaway's website, just go check it out. And if you want to enter, don't forget to enter my code, because you'll get you'll get 3 times the entries. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So anyway, guys, let's see here. Oh, Sovereign Knight, thank you, buddy. He put the link right in there. If you guys want to click on that, you guys can go visit Dream Giveaway's website. And anyway, so all right, let's grab some more comments here, guys. Let's see. David, he says, have you thought about getting an older muscle car? Yes, I have. I have thought seriously about getting like another C5 Corvette. Now, when you say older, I never really thought about going like a 60s or 70s. It's just really not that it wouldn't be enjoyable and fun. I just think it would be a hard transition to go to something like that. But I have thought seriously about buying maybe like a C5 Corvette and modifying it and having fun with it. Or maybe going with like a 2001, 2002 like Ram Air Trans Am. I thought about something like that, and that doesn't mean I won't. Even like the old Camaro SS's. Those cars are fun. They are fun. Like, I drove one again like not too long ago when I went over to visit one of the local dealerships, and they're just fun. I don't know what else to say about it, and you could do builds with them, and I have definitely considered going with older cars, just not really the 60s and 70s muscle cars, because those cars, in order to get a really nice like resto mod, one that I would actually want to own, they're really expensive. The ones that I have seen, the ones that are over there at Street Side Classics. Let me see your toy. So, that's the drawback to it. But the problem, if you get one that's not well kept, a lot of times it just turns into a huge money pit, and you spend your whole time just trying to restore it, and you don't really get to enjoy it. So that's kind of the hard part about older muscle. They're just kind of a different thing. So yes, I've thought about it. That doesn't mean I won't go that route, but if I do go that route, it's probably going to be something, I would highly consider like a Gen 2 Viper. I think that would be fun. I think even like the Terminator Cobras are cool. I actually really like the 2013, 2014 GT500. That's actually a really neat car. I would potentially go with like an older ZL1. There's a lot of different directions I could go with cars that aren't necessarily new, but they're not like really old, like old school classics, if that makes sense to you guys. Like a lot of the stuff, a lot of stuff from the, I would say late 90s up until like even like 2014, stuff in there, 2014, like there's a lot of cool stuff out there. So yes, I've highly considered it. That's a great question. So God Fear Camaro SS is where it's at, trust me. Or fear God, it says. That's what he says. Let's see here. Mistakes were made. I love the screen name. He says, yes, sir. I'm going to be skipping around a little bit here, guys. So let's see here. Juan says, love it. Greg Anderson, he says, love my hat. And so do the decals. Yes, Greg ordered one of my my first edition hats. And he mentioned to me he was really liking the hat, how it came out. You guys, have all given me positive feedback on those hats. One of the things I was very picky about was the quality, so I spent the extra money to have a complete sample made up and shipped to me. And I actually had just some subtle changes made, and then they produced them, and everybody seems to be very happy with the quality of my hats. I didn't want to do like the snapback, so I got the ones that are kind of adjustable in the back, but they're not the snap. So a little better quality hat, but you guys all seem to really like them. Let's see here. I like this one, Space Ghost, DeBass Ghost. I don't know what that is, but he says, what's up from Rockwall, Texas? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see here. Death Dragger. Why aren't we even getting a 300C Hurricane? Sedans aren't dead. So you know what? He brings up a really interesting point because he's right. Sedans aren't necessarily dead, but what you're seeing now is this huge move to crossovers, SUVs, stuff like that. So just about every American company kind of quit producing sedans, if you really think about it. I mean, Cadillac obviously still makes them in the CT4, the CT5, but Cadillac is kind of known as sort of an older person's car. But every other sedan out there has kind of gone away, if you really think about it, except for the European stuff. The Europeans are still making sedans, and those do well. But for some reason, American sedans have kind of gone the way of the wind. And it is really interesting because I did a video on this about the four-door Mustang and why that might be a great option for Ford to make right now, because you see Dodge kind of abandoning the V8 segment, right? You see Chevy, they went away from the Camaro. Who's going to get all the police contracts and stuff like that? You think the police are going to go electric? Probably not. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. It'd be like, oh, there goes somebody, but my car's charging, so that ain't gonna happen. But at any rate, yeah, it is a bit of a weird thing. But Ford going to a four-door Mustang, if they could make it really nice, they put the 10-speed in it, it gets a V8. I mean, what police officer wouldn't want to drive a decked-out Mustang that's trimmed out like, a police cruiser that has four doors on? I actually think that would be pretty wicked. But you're right, sedans in general are just kind of going the way of the wind. It's just a sign of the times. It's a bummer, but I guess it kind of is what it is. But the 300, as we know, I mean, it's on that old chassis, the same one as the Charger, and that thing's gone bye-bye. So, from a Chrysler perspective, guys, I think Chrysler, man, things look bleak for Chrysler. They're selling a minivan. That's it. They got a Pacifica minivan, and that is it. And they're talking about some of the future stuff they're going to have in like 2026, 2027, and it's going to be all EVs. Guys, here's the truth of it. If you don't like EVs, and I've said it in some of my other videos, but if you don't like EVs, Stellantis is probably not going to be a company you're going to like moving into the future. And that is a sucky thing to think about. But it's the truth. And I don't see them changing course. They've spent billions of dollars in EV technology. They spent billions of dollars in new plants. I mean, they have already jumped on that slide, and they are heading all the way down it. So, I think that it would be like if Matt McAleer tomorrow went to Carlos Tavares and was like, look, things are changing, come, next year, we're going to be able to open our playbook up. The administration, they're pulling back all these EV, rebates and stuff like that. And now's the perfect time. Let's put a V8 in there. I honestly think Tavares would just be like, nah, we're good. And that's just how he rolls as far as I'm concerned. I don't see that changing. I feel like Matt is in a really tough position, because he is a car guy. Matt is such a good guy, and he's a genuine guy. anytime anybody tries to say something negative about Matt, it's the same response I had when people said negative things about Tim. Look, you just don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how else to put it, but the Dodge guys are car guys, and Matt is a car guy, just like Tim was. He's a little different in terms of just, not different in a bad way, I'm just saying he's different than Tim was personality-wise, but still a good guy and a car guy. And, you know, he's working with the cards he was dealt. And that's not Tim's fault. That's not Matt's fault. A lot of it is just coincidental. When the rules change and your bosses tell you you have to do X, Y, Z, you got to do what you got to do. So anyway, guys, that's my take on that. But I don't know. I mean, we talked a little bit about the EV mandate on some of my other videos. Obviously, I think that's going to get relaxed quite a bit. We'll see how long it takes. Will they actually? The stuff with the EPA is going to be a little bit harder. It's not going to be just Trump going, "Hey, I want to change this," and they're just going to go, "Okay." I don't think it's going to be that simple. I think there's going to be a lot more pushback on that. In terms of rolling back the EV mandate, I think he's going to get it done, and I think he's going to get it done pretty quick. And you know, his stance on it is kind of. I read something today. You know, his stance on it is, look, you know, for people that want EVs, okay, that's fine. You know, get you an EV, but basically we shouldn't be cramming these EVs down people's throat if they don't want them. And we're basically highly incentivizing people to buy EVs. That's not really the fair thing to do. You know, why not just incentivize everybody and let them pick what they want? And so you know, I get his take on it. I get the take for people that like EVs too. I mean, EVs have their place, but they're not necessarily for everybody. And some people, it's just not a very good option. Now with solid state batteries, one of my most recent videos that I put out for you guys, solid state batteries would be a bit of a game changer for a lot of people. I mean, you got something that charges twice as fast, gets twice as much range, it's safer, it's lighter. I mean, the list goes on. If they can do it, and they've even hypothesized they could be just slightly cheaper. That doesn't mean they'll make them cheaper, but basically it's the best of everything, yet you still have a lot of people, I mean, you still have to plug the thing in. And, you know, so you could take a lot of the negative things out of the equation, but if you don't like EVs, you don't like EVs, and you shouldn't have to buy an EV. One of my videos that I may come out with here very soon talks about what's going on with speed limit controls, speed limiters in California. This is where all this stuff starts out in California. And it kind of bleeds over to everybody else because, you know, if you've got California saying, no, all cars must be X, Y, Z, it doesn't make any sense for a manufacturer to make, you know, cars that adhere for everybody else and then a whole special batch of cars just for California, and they figured that out. And so California is really pushing their agenda on the rest of the nation, and it's getting really old. And I keep seeing reel after reel after reel talking about how, you know, you can't even drive cars in certain modes in California. They're like, do you have an exhaust on this car? Like, do you drive it in sport mode? You get a ticket. They'll tow your car. It has gotten laughable in California. Like, if you're a car person, go take your toy in there. If you're a car person, California is not a good place to live. I don't know how else to put it, but they have ruined it. They have just ruined California. And California is so big, it has so many people, and it's such a beautiful state, but they've just ruined it. If you're a car guy, it is so hard to be a car person in California. I hate to say it that way. I won't go into it any more than that, but I'm so tired of seeing California constantly push this weird agenda and completely ruin everything when it comes to cars. It's one thing after another. I could do 10 videos on it, but I'm not going to. I digress, but I might do one about something that's coming down the pipe from California, of course, that is really invasive, and it's something I actually predicted about 5 years ago on my channel. Yep, it's coming. So, and then it's going to bleed over to every other state because, once again, how do you make cars different for California? It just doesn't make sense to roll down let's roll down the California assembly line and then everybody else. It's ridiculous. So Aaron says, notice the prices dropping on Hellcats and Scats. I've seen them coming down some, and I don't necessarily see a lot of drop, but I have seen some. I don't know, Aaron, are you seeing a lot of that stuff? It's marginal. And a lot of it depends on your region. Like in California, once again, prices aren't coming down out there at all from what I've seen. Like prices are still astronomically high. You jump across to Nevada and prices come way down. I don't know what it is, but at any rate, a lot of it depends on the region that you're in. So let me see here, guys. I think I hit most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I did want to mention one other thing. I'm going to grab some more comments. I've only got a few minutes left on my phone before it dies, guys. So if you guys have a really cool car, and a couple people have reached out to me, and you think it would be cool for me to review it on the channel if you happen to be in or around the Tampa area, Central Florida, whatever, if you're going to be visiting, shoot me a note, because I love doing subscriber reviews on cars. Like if you've got some unique stuff going on. Now, if you just have like, different wheels and window tint, that's something that a lot of people won't tune in for. But if you have a really unique build, a lot of you guys suggested I go check out, I think Modern Red Hemi. He messaged me, but unfortunately he's like 10 states away. He's not close, but he's got a really cool build. But if you have a cool build, there's something unique and different about your car that you think people will really like, and you've done a bunch of stuff to it, and it's something people can relate to, just shoot me a message, right? Hit me up on my email, my channel email at RacerX Official on Yahoo. You guys can hit me up on Instagram, although I'm behind on my Instagram messages, guys. I'm so sorry. I will get back to you guys, I promise. But my RacerX New on Instagram, you guys can hit me up there. Lots of ways to get a hold of me, but I love doing subscriber reviews, and it's so much fun. And you guys seem to respond really favorably to the subscriber reviews. So at any rate, guys, it's just something that I really enjoy doing. I thought I would just put it out there for you guys. And I think I've got everything else that I wanted to talk about done. So look at Greg jumping in there. Greg Anderson, thank you. Greg Anderson jumping in there with a $50 super chat, trying to steal the canvas. I love it. So he's up to 55 now. Thank you very much, Greg, for that. And he just has the big balloon on there. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. So Greg is in the lead on this. Guys, if my phone dies, I'm so sorry, but I will get that signed and get that sent out. But right now, Greg just took over Aaron's spot. Aaron got the top. Aaron was in the top spot before. But let me grab a couple other comments before I get off, and then I was going to share one other quick thing with you before we jump off. Hopefully, like I said, guys, if my phone dies, I'm so sorry. I had to charge it before I started my live tonight, and it's like, I don't know, I think it's like 3% or something. So let's see. Elvis says return of the Hemi V8 and manual transmission Challenger RT Scat. I don't see that stuff returning, guys. They've even said the 6-pack Charger will not come with a manual transmission. The truth of the matter is, if you talk to a lot of dealerships, they'll tell you that manuals just don't sell. They sit for a long time. As a car enthusiast, I love manuals, and I thought about buying a manual for the channel here. That doesn't mean I won't buy one. Certainly, if I buy like a 90s car, it's going to be a manual. That's the way those cars were made. But the automatic transmissions have just come so far. They're so good, and that's what most people buy. That's just the truth of it. And for every 20 cars they sell, they may sell one manual. And sorry, I've got my puppy over there horking up a lung. Let's see here. Got that picture? So get that picture to Sovereign Knight, says Aaron 20. So Aaron just took over Greg's spot right there. Aaron, what are you up to? I got to do my math here. So let's see. Here's 25. Where are you at, Aaron? 25, 29. Where are you at? Aaron, are you at 49 now? I think Greg's at 55. Sovereign Knight is one of my biggest supporters, been on my channel for forever. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Richard, LOL, it's a bid off. That's what always happens at the end of my lives, guys. They do like this crazy bid off thing, and it's so much fun. And I have a hard time keeping all of my my super chats straight. So everybody liked Greg's comment there. Sovereign Knight, I do every once in a while send Sovereign Knight something kind of cool and unique because he has been one of my core supporters for years and years and years, and he's so helpful. So huge shout out to my man Sovereign Knight. It's like an eBay auction. It always is, guys. So let's see here. Richard, oh, they're all laughing. I'm going to grab a couple more comments, guys, and then I need to jump off. I'm so sorry. I know I get on these tangents, and I had so much to talk about tonight. But like I said, I'm excited to go to Dodge and give you guys some new footage. I'm excited for more race content, all that stuff. Let's see here. Fear God says nobody wants an electric car, at least not real car enthusiasts. A car enthusiast, I get excited about a V8 engine, and let's see, and the manual transmission. Nothing about electric cars excites me. A lot of people share your sentiment, buddy. I kind of feel the same way, although, as I mentioned, I do really want to drive this new car to give you my open and honest thoughts about it. And it might be a lot of fun to drive. That doesn't necessarily mean I'd buy one, especially for 80 grand. But like I said, I'm an open-minded guy. So there's that. So Aaron throws in $2. So Aaron, you're up to like 51. I think Greg is at 55. You guys are like right there together as usual. So I think Greg's still winning by a few bucks unless I missed something. Let's see here. What did I miss here? I'm going to make sure here. Yeah, Aaron, there's the 20, and then there's the 2. Okay. So Dragvan says you need to come out to SoCal and COC Motivator. I'll show you the van and the new 408. So I went to California to visit MagnaFlow not that long ago, and I was supposed to sync up with OC Motivator, and it just didn't happen. He had some family issues when I was out there, and that was kind of just a bummer. So we didn't really get that in. We did hang out at SEMA a few years back, just a little bit, and that was fun as well. So look at Aaron jumping in there. He says, "Please hold." So Aaron's at 61 and just overtook my man Greg. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys very much for all the super chats tonight, by the way, guys. You guys have been amazing. So now Aaron is winning at 61 bucks. You know, you guys can message me on Instagram too when we're done with this. But I do want to mention something here just before we go. And you know, like I said, those of you guys that follow my channel a lot, you guys realize that I kind of went through some very tough times, like obviously in December losing my mom, and then losing K9X, you know, in May, and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you just kind of have to hold on. And you know, something I always preach to you guys is that, like, you just kind of have to do your best to keep a level head and try and spread positivity everywhere you can. And I know I always try to end my lives on kind of a positive note. This is no different. But to me, if you can take 2 seconds out of your day and do something nice for somebody you don't know, or maybe somebody you do, maybe somebody that you just haven't talked to in a while, maybe send a quick text message to somebody that you care about, somebody that you love. If you can do anything to sort of brighten somebody's day, make their day a little bit better. It doesn't have to be solicited. It can just be something you do out of the kindness of your heart. Maybe it's letting somebody in traffic. Maybe it's saying hi to a coworker, like any number of things. You know, I would highly encourage you guys to just remember what's important in life, and you know, you'll be, it's amazing. I catch myself getting mad at people on the highway because of the way people drive here in Florida, and sometimes I have to take a big step back and realize, like I said, what's important, and I think we all tend to forget that sometimes, right? So definitely make sure you guys take a pause, take a breath, you know, be nice to everybody, spread positivity, because the truth of the matter is both negativity and positivity are contagious. And if you've ever been around somebody that is just always positive, they're just such a joy to be around. And then you've got people that are kind of always negative and bringing people down, and they have that effect on people. So be the person that is a positive presence in somebody else's life, even if it just takes 5 seconds out of your day. And I challenge each one of you guys tonight or tomorrow to do something just out of the blue that's really nice, something kind for someone else, to just make their day a little bit better. That's my challenge to you guys. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to try and do something really nice for somebody tomorrow, and just give them a little bit of a better day. It doesn't take much, you know, and it can be a complete stranger. But anyway, guys, remember, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. Thank you guys, X-Fam. I'm so sorry. There's a million comments on here I couldn't get to tonight. I'm running low on battery, and I'm getting a little bit tired. But it's been a great live. I'm going to try and do these lives a little more often with you guys. I really do enjoy them. Hopefully next time I can get my orientation going the other way. I feel like this one's a little bit weird. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I can't wait to bring you this footage from Dodge, more race footage. As I mentioned, I have lots of other videos in the pipe. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag on all these things. But, you know, if you guys have video ideas, hit me up. Hit me up on my Instagram or hit me up on my channel email. You can find it in my bio as well. And I love video ideas, guys. I love interacting with you guys. It's just so much fun. And remember, like I said, guys, remember what's important out there. Hold your loved ones tight. And Aaron, if you really want, hit me up on Instagram. I'll send this over to my man Sovereign Knight. And Greg, thank you very much, buddy, for the super chat, because he was right there as well. As always, Greg is dropping those super chat bombs. So you guys are amazing. Thank you, Tom, for chiming in tonight as well. I'm going to jump off, guys. Like I said, you know, remember what's important. Hold your loved ones tight. And I will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, RacerX.